He keeps kicking me in the dick. Why? Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shining just the way you like. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Last Vox After Hours. My name is Matt, and I am here to bring you the last bastion of sanity for this portion of the internet. And I want you, specifically all of you out there who are listening, to sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage, and realize that you are, without a doubt, the most intelligent person on the planet compared to the people we talk about on this show. How's it going, everybody? I know I didn't have a show last week, but that is because, well, I didn't really have anything to talk about. That has changed. I am thinking that the fan behind me, sorry, Ray, I know it's loud, but it got kind of hot here today. I can turn it off, that's fine. So, I've been thinking about maybe putting the Last Vox every other week. Gives me a chance to gather some fun things to talk about for you guys, and some memes, or maybe some videos to look at. It's not something that I'm seriously considering yet, but it is something that is on my mind. I may do After Hours every other week, and then in between those weeks, we can have a set cringe book club on Sundays or something like that. You know, there's always a good time for cringe book club. Sundays, everybody can sit back and just drink their life away while we read horrible, horrible fan fiction and, well, stories. But before we start even considering any of that, I'm going to say hello to you lovely people in chat. And first is the beautiful, the gorgeous, my darling wife, Ishtar. Ray got second, Za is third, and Mitzi comes in with the honorable mention. It's been a while since Mitzi's got honorable mention. She's usually in there in the first two, maybe three. So this is a momentous occasion that Mitzi has actually gotten honorable mention. So, Dark is here. How's it going, Dark? You're going to enjoy some of the things that I'm talking about tonight. Zeo Gold is here. How's it going, Zeo Gold? Wren, how's it going? Wren and Igor are enjoying their faux lager. I can't wait to taste their new stuff that's going to be here soon, hopefully. So, yes, I am sleeveless because it was a very warm day today, and unfortunately, the houses up here in the wonderful Pacific Northwest are geared towards keeping the heat inside, because it gets cold during the winter. So during the summer, when it gets a little warm, the houses keep the heat in, even with everything wide open. I got my window open, I got sunlight coming in, the whole 9 yards. Now, I know you guys can see it up top of the chat. There is a question, and it does have to do with some things today, and that is a really simple question. I'm trying out this poll thing. I'm going to let it go for a little bit longer, and then we'll get the results. And that is, can trolling go too far? Now, I can already see that 62% of you have said yes, it can, and 38% of you say no, it can't. Well, I'm going to give you an example or two today that you're going to say trolling went a little too far. So, just hold on to your horses. Now, you guys know, I am not a drama channel. I do horror narrations. I do funny news. I talk about weird articles, and I bring you the entitlement of Twitter, which I have a few for us to watch today. But I'm talking about what I'm going to be talking about now, because I'm tangentially a part of it. Now, before I say anything else, I'm going to say that this is all because of me saying something nice to somebody. That's how I got brought in. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire history, but someone who I was not on good terms with a while ago ended up in the hospital. Like, had a seizure, ended up unresponsive. I don't know if you guys know who he is. His name is Trippy Poop. And one of his friends basically started a GoFundMe, and a bunch of Trippy's friends... Now, the GoFundMe was for Trippy Poop's medical bills. So I want you to keep that in mind. These medical bills can get very, very high, especially if you don't have insurance. How's it going, Nathan? It says, "Whomst the fuck let Nathan in?" I always let you in, Nathan. You know that. So, with that being established, a bunch of Trippy's so-called friends started to go in on the girl who decided to start this GoFundMe. And I saw what was happening, and I didn't tag any of them. I didn't say anything to any of them. I just said to her, "You're doing something good for your friend. Ignore the people who are hating on you. They'll go away." And apparently, that was me choosing sides and simping and defending her and things like that. That's all I said. I said you were doing something good. Well, a blast from the past has decided he's going to grace my Twitter timeline, and I've decided to mute him, and I don't care if anybody calls that a bitch move. They can scream into the ether. I've decided to mute him instead of block him, because basically I don't need to deal with his bullshit. Now, he used to be called Anu Vlad, but that got made fun of so much that he changed his name. And you can go ahead and decide what names ANU Vlad got turned into. Now, he picked an even better name. One that fits his personality better than I think anybody else could even come up with. His name is Gilded Poo now, and that is on Twitter as well. So basically, he's calling himself a golden shit. You can polish a turd as much as you want, Vlad. You're still a fucking turd. So, yes, this is the part where you're grateful you don't use Twitter. Dealing with these idiots have reminded me why I'm happy that I decided to go away from that part of the YouTube community. And basically, Vlad decided he was going to jump in and help 3-Force Yoda go after the person who set up Trippy's GoFundMe. All of this has kind of come up. There's a whole sect that I didn't know that because I've been so far apart from this, that they have factions. Like, there are names that were coming up that I haven't talked about in years. And when I say years, I mean I was being accused of things that happened 2 years ago and even 3 years ago, that people have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And they hate that. They hate getting that pointed out to them. That they really have no fucking clue what happened. And that they can think whatever the fuck they want, but it's not true. They hate that. Why? Because, well, it means that they're not on their high horse anymore, and they can't back everything up with their claims, because that's all they have. And that's all they ever have. They have accusations. Nathan says, gilded or gelded? Well, knowing how ineffective poo is, it's definitely gelded. Now, I can guarantee you that they're watching. Why? Because they know that I'm going to say something about this. And it's the only attention that they really get. And this is all I'm going to say on it. And this is why I asked this question. So I gave you all that context. Right? So, can trolling go too far? I want you guys to really think about that. Now, you can say, no, trolling can't go too far. All it is trying to piss people off and get under their skin. I'm here to make normies rage. Sorry, I know you called me a normie. I'm anything but. It's fine. You can go ahead and redefine the words as much as you want. I'm not a normie. So, can trolling go too far? Well, I'm going to ask you guys again. If you have been paying attention to my Twitter, which you don't have to, Nathan doesn't have Twitter, that's fine. If you have paid attention to my Twitter, I've made some posts about certain things that have come out. And one of those is trolling someone with bestiality porn. Now, I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill anime porn. I'm not talking about hentai. I'm not talking about pictures. I'm not talking about rotoscoped images. I'm talking about a legit... And I can't show you, because I would. You can go to Gilded Pooh's Twitter and find it, if you want. Or you can DM me on Twitter or on Discord, and I can show you the proof. I'm not going to show you on stream. Because it's not just some dude being photoshopped in. This was a video that Pooh has on his computer to share readily with people, and it's a guy fucking a Siberian Husky. So, I'm going to ask you again. Can trolling go too far? Because according to me and my morals and my principles, which I know my, I guess you'd call them haters. I haven't thought about them in years. What they don't understand is I actually have principles. They don't. And I have, oh, believe me, Vlad, I have receipts. So, Zio Gold says, please don't. That's just one example from Pooh. I don't understand how you could just respond to somebody with animal porn you readily have on your computer and think that's a win. I don't think you can admit to being part of quote-unquote gay ops when you are still friends with someone who has made it his life goal on the internet, well, while he was on it, before he yeeted himself off because he basically backstabbed every fucking friend he ever had, who went after people with gay ops. You admitted to the fact that you were part of that because it was his idea. That's not a defense against anything that you think it is. Now, okay, so that's two things. Trolling that can possibly go too far. Hello, Trisha. I haven't seen you here before, but I follow Trisha on Twitter. She's a wonderful young woman. You can follow her on Twitter as well. Trisha, we are talking about if trolling can go too far. Now, you came in at probably the worst time because I'm giving my third example of how the people who have said no, trolling can't go too far, how, by my own principles, I think it can. So, if you have a point that you are responding to somebody, and you make a paragraph of this point, and then you put a GIF underneath it, you can have the GIF say anything you want. I've done it before on Twitter. You say, that's absolutely, and then you put a colon, and then you have Trump saying wrong. That works. You can have, an entire paragraph, and then you can have, from Phoenix Wright, his opponent from the very first game, say, you're not the clown, you're the whole fucking circus, and have that as a statement at the end of your point. Those GIFs are fine. But if you're making a point, and the GIF you choose is hardcore scat porn, well, I have a line for morality and principles that you just don't cross, because that's not what you're doing. Then is you're making sure the person doesn't read your point, because they're just going to pass by. So I'm going to ask you guys again, can you go too far with trolling? Now, I understand clapping back against someone. I understand making fun of someone. I understand continuing to respond to someone to try and get under their skin. But obligatory posts of hardcore scat porn and bestiality does not a troll make. And the fact that you have those things so readily on your computer, Vlad, makes me wonder a lot about you. and how you treat your family. Honestly. Now, one thing that they like bringing up, because no one's saying anything against this except from the opposition. If you have a friend, say Nathan, you are on Twitter, and you and I follow each other, and we talk all the time. And you start doing that to someone. And because my principles, I don't call you out. I don't call you the piece of shit that you are. That reflects poorly on me. Because you guys know my principles. Something like that, I couldn't deal with. And we would be having a serious talk. Now, I know what they're going to say. Man, he is doing the guilt by association thing. Well, for your little butt buddy, Pooh, let me... When I want his opinion on something, I'll ask you for it, since he doesn't have a single thought of his own. That's not something that you can say is okay. Because you not saying anything about it means that you're okay with it, because it's a friend of yours. Oh, and for those of you who know Vlad and go, that's just Vlad. I mean, what do you expect? That's not the defense you think it is. That means you're excusing Vlad being a shitheel just because you don't want to deal with his shitheel behavior. And I will say this to anybody who has a problem with me saying it. I'll say it to their face. I don't care who you are. If you do not call out this gross, disgusting behavior, you are complicit in it. Because as far as I knew from that part of the portion of the internet, when I was a part of it, we didn't stand for stuff like that from the opposition. We didn't stand for cancel culture. We fought against it. We stand against I hate this term SJWs, because there's SJWs on both sides. We fought against that. We stood for it. We stood against it. We called out bad behavior, regardless of who it was. To the point that that's how Sparky and I became friends. Because I took that principle, Vlad, if you remember, and I called out your entire fucking group for doing something that was not only going to get you guys banned from YouTube, but was a bad idea because some big blue check mark decided to do it. And all of you wigged your fucking shit because someone like me called you out. I remember that. I also remember, Vlad, that I have a bunch of conversations of yours with me where you told me you couldn't hang around certain people because you were afraid of them. You were afraid of them. They had people, they had a whole crew of doxers, and you wanted nothing to do with them anymore. So, for those of you who know Vlad, yes, Zeo Gold, Vlad sided with the guy who called me a pedo. Surprising, right? He has such a stand-up moral character. So, not only do you have no principles whatsoever, but anybody who hangs around him, talks to him, sure, they'll say, guess what, he's a great guy. He's a great guy in private. And then have him do the exact same thing after he's apologized. I've gotten 3 from him. After he's apologized, goes and does the same shit all over again. This is someone who has no principles whatsoever, no morals, and this is someone who posts hardcore scat porn at people and bestiality. So, yeah, I titled the stream 3 Edgy 5 Me. It's an old meme because it was one more than 2 edgy for me. So, can it go too far? I'll ask you guys again. I know you can't change your answers, But I'm going to end the poll in just a little bit. So I'm going to ask you guys who are active in the chat. Can trolling go too far? Knowing that people do shit like this. Me personally, I believe yes. You can go too far. You fabricating evidence, you doxing people, you continually posting GIFs over and over and over and over on someone's posts that they can't see you or have you blocked, and you decide to quote tweet them by taking the URL from their tweets and then commenting on it, that's not trolling. That's harassment. You see, here's the problem that Vlad and his tiny, tiny-brained little buddy don't get. I'm not going to their Twitter to look for things. I have people send me things. I'm not going to their Twitter. They're muted. I don't even see them when they respond. They come to mine. Why? Well, they want to stir up shit, and they think I care. So, don't worry. Me saying they think I care, or me saying I think they think I care, they're going to say, well, he talked about it for a whole 20 minutes. He must care. I don't have to care about a subject if I'm talking about a piece of shit like you. I don't care that you're a piece of shit. I care that your bad behavior doesn't get punished. So I don't care about you. I care about your behavior. So let's see. All right, I'm gonna end the poll, and you guys are almost split. I would say almost. I say almost split. There was 12 votes. That's fine. 67% said yes, you can go too far with trolling. 33% said no. Apparently, those people think that sending bestiality, and I'm assuming, think that that's not a bad. That's okay. And I've had a conversation with someone who follows me on Twitter about that. And they said it's okay to go as far as you want because he's an old fag from 4chan. So am I. But I still have morals. I still have a line that I won't cross. Let's see. Dark says yes, if that's what they call trolling. That's cyberbullying in his opinion. Zeogold said there's trolling and then there's doing psycho crap. Vlad is the latter. Ishtar says, yes, if you can post bestiality and scat porn, how long before you're posting pedo shit? Well, it gets a little bit worse than that, Ish. I had a problem with Vlad a long time ago, and so did Sparky. Because Vlad, for some reason, thought it was a good idea to start posting mutilated cats in response, because Sparky didn't like him saying something. I know I jokingly call you guys degenerates. That's legit degenerate behavior. There's something wrong with a person who thinks that that's okay. Nathan says, hell, I've gone way too far by trolling a person in my younger years. Damn near ended up getting someone expelled because of it. See, that's the difference, Nathan. You learned from it. Oh, and by the way, folks, dealing with these idiots, it doesn't matter if you talk to someone, you made up for whatever fight you guys had. My opinions from 3 years ago are still my opinions today. Nothing has changed. I'm the exact same. Remember, I'm the exact same person that I was 2-3 years ago. Nothing in my life has changed. At all. I want you to remember that when dealing with these, if you guys deal with these idiots. Ben C says, trolling is funny when both sides are recognize it. Very true, Ben. When it starts to become a meme off, that's fine. You both know that you're trying to get under each other's skin, and usually you guys can actually talk it out. But, then there are people who like to post bestiality porn. I don't want to be in that category. Malik says, yo, what did I miss? You missed me bringing up someone from the old days, Malik. who really doesn't need any more attention. He's a piece of shit, and the people that are around him who still let him get away with this behavior are pieces of shit. So we're gonna move on to I need to come up with like a something to segue into the entitled Twitter people, or whatever we're gonna call it, because I have a few things. So I'm gonna have to get my handy dandy headset, and we're gonna have to put this on, and I'm gonna entertain you guys. I'm gonna let you guys. We're gonna go over things, and we're gonna discuss what some of these people are saying. So let me get rid of the after hours thing. Let's see, where are you? There you are. Blood out. And we're going to go into... here we go. We're going to go into a teacher who thinks that if CRT is banned, he's still going to teach it. You guys ready? I know I am. This is a teacher. The J Salazar on TikTok, because it's always TikTok. Where did I get this exactly? I got this from the Libs of TikTok. If you want to follow them, they're actually kind of fun. So here we go. This is 47 seconds. I'm going to make sure you guys can hear it. You guys should be able to hear it. Let me turn it up. Here we go. Ready? Because I'm ready.
Teachers, I need your help. You're here? Good.
All right. Starting off with some nerdy stuff. Okay, that's fine. You're talking to teachers. All right, let's go.
If you were banned from teaching critical race theory, how would you continue to teach it?
Before I let him continue, I want to point out that a lot of parents are being shown at board meetings at school really going against this. And yeah, if it's banned in school, that means you can't teach it. Now, if it was I can't even say get to a private school, right? Because of the last time we were talking about the private schools who hired on a sex ed teacher who was trying to teach first graders how to masturbate. So, the cuckoo thing is from Peter Pan, I think. I don't know. But yeah. Zeo Gold says, FYI, 4chan would not accept anything that Vlad has done. Well, okay, aside from the scat porn, they probably would. But the bestiality and the dead cats, they would not. 4chan, there were two things you never messed with 4chan, and that was children and pets. Ben, you were just getting to what I was going to say. I don't know, if the government says CRT is fine, schools can teach it. If schools say they're not going to teach it, and they do, parents can do things. If it's a public school, you can fight against it by voting out the people in the board that allowed it. You can vote against the government that put it in there. Private schools, you have more power because you're paying for it. You don't have much, but you do have more because they want that $30,000, $40,000 per child. So you do have a chance to stop things at private school. The best way to avoid CRT and these horrible fucking teachers teaching this bad stuff is homeschool. That's it. So the question was, how would you teach CRT if it was banned? He's going to tell us how to work around teaching kids things that... Teaching 6th graders and 3rd graders and 3-month-olds that being white is bad.
I need you to stitch this and or comment so we can have a resource to help teachers who can no longer teach critical race theory teach
Shut up.
it anyway.
No. If it's banned, you lose your job.
Because again, it's an ideology. It's not a curriculum. You can't just ban it. But
Yes, you can. You certainly can stop them from teaching an ideology. Christianity is an ideology. Being Muslim is an ideology. Being Jewish, the religion of being Jewish, is an ideology. You can ban it from schools because it's an ideology, not curriculum.
I'm aware that some teachers might be afraid that they can't teach this curriculum that doesn't exist. Here's how I would do it. Oh, that's crazy. I can't teach critical race theory? Okay. Hey, don't mind me. I'm teaching Manifest Destiny while also teaching broken treaties, Indian Appropriation Acts, Indian removal, genocide, and assimilation.
You're teaching things that aren't going to help your students. Good for you. You are not loading them up with the knowledge that they need to survive. You're not loading them up with knowledge that's going to help them in the real world. You're teaching them your ideology. And you're teaching them that their inherent skin color is bad because they were born with a characteristic in their body that they were not able to control. Seems pretty fucking racist to me.
Thanks. Stay woke.
Yes, stay woke, fam. Put your jobs on the line for an ideology that can get you fired. You do that. It's gonna work out well for you. I promise. It's gonna work out real good for you. All right, let's see. Oh, this next person. Oh boy, this one's not as long. This one's a little bit longer. No, that teacher doesn't know what CRT is. Let's see. Nathan says, teach the kids at home to question everything they're told by government officials. That's a good start. Pisses off the right sort it is meant to piss off. You're exactly right, Nathan. And fun fact, CRT uses the same arguments the pro-slavery South did. That's bad. Dark says CRT is also Marxist because it's the same 5 principles of Marxism, just class is changed with race. Ray says this teacher doesn't know what CRT is. And Trisha says, I would not be happy with teachers teaching their opinions to my children. And, believe it or not, parents aren't happy. Let me see real quick if I have it. I didn't get it. It's fine. There is, going around on Twitter, there are a ton of videos going around on Twitter of parents in board meetings that are ripping into the school board because they don't want this stuff taught. They don't want their children indoctrinated with these Marxist principles. They don't want racism taught in school. Because before all of this shit, no one saw color. But apparently not being able to see color, that's racist now. Trish says, not saying all my opinions are right, but I also teach my children critical thinking so she can make her own opinions. Very, very good, very smart. Kudos to you, Trisha. Alright, so this one... oh, okay. The question is, or the statement is, meat is murder, there is no excuse. He also looks like he hasn't had beef anywhere near his body for at least 10 years, except for tube steak. And he looks like he could be pushed over by a soft breeze and a leaf. But let's see why meat is murder and no excuse for it.
Eating meat is being complicit in a system of genocide.
Wow, he's going hard really fast. Eating meat is being complicit in a system that promotes genocide. Wow. No. Do you want to know why it's no? Okay. Apparently this person doesn't understand how farms work. See, the way that this person looks, and I can guarantee he's going to get into some stupid shit. The way that farms actually work is they are reproductive. Yes, slaughterhouses slaughter hundreds and thousands of cows a year. that's true. Except they reproduce more cows. You see, if they just slaughtered off all of their cows, they wouldn't make any money. So they make sure the cows reproduce, and they get more cows. Same thing with chickens, and ducks, and sheep, and lamb, and goat, and any other meat that you produce out there. There are puppy farms in places like China and India that sell dog meat. But it's not like the cute little Pomeranian. It is a dog that is specifically bred for its meat. Like we do with turkey, like we do with cows, like we do with deer, like all of that stuff. It is cyclical. It goes back and forth. You know, they breed more. I will say that, like, cow farms are kind of, I wouldn't even say a blight on our society, because they're really not. Driving through an area with a cow farm, that's just god-awful. Rolling up your windows in your car does not help. It is nothing but cow farts for miles. Trisha says, I'd be vegan if I didn't love bacon so much. Preach, sister, preach. You can see, I'm not a skinny person. I'm not this twig here above me. I like me some food. Dark says, this dude looks like David Cross's gay meth-addicted brother. Ooh, spicy. Nathan says, I am secondhand vegan. My food eats the plants, then I eat the food. Ben says the smell is not that bad. I may be exaggerating a little bit. It's still bad. It's kind of overwhelming, is what I should say. Okay, let's see how meat is genocide.
And this weekend, when it's hot and sunny and everybody's rushing out to the shops to buy burgers and chicken wings and lamb chops from what are sentient, living, breathing, thinking beings with thoughts and feelings, and I know a lot of people deny that, but
so are spiders. Spiders are sentient. They're thinking. So are the bugs that news sites keep wanting us to eat. They want us to get our protein from crickets. They're sentient. They're thinking. Now, not a lot of thinking. You want us to eat only plants. That's fine. That doesn't mean I want to eat only plants. If I want a salad, I have a salad with my dinner. If I want steak, I'm gonna have steak. So
we know that they do. The science has proven that. And
oh, science! Science. You want to talk about science? Here's a little... I don't have the study for me because I didn't see what he was going to talk about. There is actually a study out there that says plants feel something when you cut them. It doesn't determine what it is. But plants react sentiently to the pain of being cut. Maybe being vegan is not the best thing. Because you're still hurting sentient beings. But meat is murder.
Science is the science. I just want you to be aware that one day, in the next 20 or 30 years, there might come a point where people like you and people producing this food from animals through genocide may well find themselves in a courtroom being persecuted and held to account for their crimes.
Wait! Oh God, the entitlement of people on TikTok and Twitter. Wow! Okay. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. In the next 20 to 30 years, you are going to be persecuted in a court of law for buying that sirloin steak. Wow. How's it going, Steve? Yeah, in 20 to 30 years, you're going to be persecuted for eating bacon. You're going to be persecuted for eating eggs. You're going to be... Oh, and that means no cakes. No cakes. No bread. No baked goods that are... unless they are unleavened of any kind. Because you are eating a chicken embryo. Wow. He honestly believes that that's going to happen. It's not. Because we're not all insane vegans. Have a good night, Nathan. Oh boy. Alright, there's only a little bit more.
Because now we have loads of brilliant alternatives like tofu burgers, Beyond Burgers, pea protein sausages. So there really is no excuse, and you are knowingly taking the lives of animals.
There's no excuse, because he wants you to eat tofu, bean paste, bugs, and anything he deems worthy for you to eat. So plants are worthy. And if you don't eat the Impossible Burger that has so many hormones that is actually altering your body, you are going to be going to jail. I'm sorry, that's never happening. Because that is taking away your choice. Ishtar says, these people will have you persecuted for breathing wrong. You are not wrong in that, my love. Not wrong at all. Let's see, Nathan. Ben says the cow farts are strong with this one. Just wait. Y'all, I got a goodie here for you. It's only 19 seconds long. 19 seconds long, and it's going to take even less time than that to prove him wrong. You guys ready? You guys are... I keep asking that. You guys aren't ready for this stuff. Trust me. You're not ready.
Swag or swaggy are also slurs. Slave auctions, whenever they saw a black man on the stage or whatever, they would be like, that boy's got swag. Make sure he's extra swaggy. And then that's how they...
No, they didn't. Make sure he's got swag. Oh, God, I couldn't even make it through the 19 seconds.
They chose black men to, like, buy. Non-black people, please stop saying the word swag. Thank you. And respect our boundaries.
No. Swag. S-W-A-G. I don't know sign language, or else I would sign it out. Swag. S-W-A-G. What it stands for. Shit we all get. That's where it started. Swag, the term swag, started at conventions. Because conventions would give out swag bags for free. It wasn't something that people could buy. You just got it. Everybody got it. Shit we all get. There is no racist connotation behind it whatsoever. The teacher that we talked about before, the teacher that we just talked about 2 videos ago, that teacher is teaching shit like this. That swag. That people back in 1800s were using terminology and slang from today to auction off black people. Motherfucker, what is wrong with you? Swag just stands for shit we all get. That's it. I couldn't even make it the 19 seconds of this idiot talking. It's 19 seconds. Cops, are you going to go eat at KFC? Guy, yeah. Cops, okay, come here. You're under arrest for attempting to eat meat. That's what they think's going to happen, Malik. Ben, they want to go to car shows and get free swag. They want... In California, I mean, you can pretty much get swag up to $950. Just walk into any store. It's part of the law. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. I'm just saying, if you happen to be part of California and you are in dire need of something, cops will not prosecute you if you steal less than $950. It's considered a Class E misdemeanor. It is so low on the totem pole that they won't even hunt you down. But, sure, swag is racist. Because the slavers back in the 1800s, were talking swag and drip and things like that from today's lexicon. Alright, y'all. We have reached peak stupidity. But I'm not done yet. There's more. This Zeo Gold said, this idiot just made the actual white supremacists feel justified in saying that black people are incredibly stupid. You're not wrong, Zeo Gold. You are not wrong. I don't think black people are stupid. But I have evidence right here of this particular black person being an absolute moron. Let's see. Trisha says, I thought swag meant secretly we are gay back in the 60s or something. That is a possibility. I don't know as much about that, but I do know that it started at conventions. It started at conventions, and they were called swag bags. Because you could go to the main, when you checked in, you got a bunch of stuff from all of the booths. It's not like that anymore. Now your swag is basically, you get your lanyard, you get your sticker, and that's your swag. But there are booths that give away stuff. But when you would go to like an anime convention or a comic convention, when you signed in, you got a bag of free shit. So yeah, swag apparently is now racist. So that's something else that we give to the racists. They keep giving people shit. Stop giving racist things. Oh God. Okay. Now this one, if you people love him or hate him, I follow him on Twitter. His name is Andy No. If you don't know who he is, he's someone who likes to film Portland Antifa. He's been giving Antifa names from court documents, not just giving out public names from court documents and shit like that, for people to see what these people are doing. So I have something from Andy No. It's a little bit longer. We're just going to watch it. The caption that he gave was, I don't have to be peaceful. They're talking about protest, and I believe this is taking place... Yeah, this is taking place in LA. It's for the Wii Spa. With that whole situation. If you don't know what the Wii Spa stuff is that's going on, my suggestion, because I'm not going to talk about it, is go ahead and look things up. Yes, the racist bingo card keeps getting bigger. So this is from the Wii Spa protests. For those of you who don't know, the First Amendment does allow for peaceful assembly. A riot or a violent assembly is not part of protected speech. So keep that in mind when you see these idiots. And then we are going to move on to some really fun articles that I have for you guys. Ben says, so when they give out swag bags at the Oscars, are they being racist or not? Well, Ben, you happen to know just like I do, because you've been following me for a while. There was a hashtag a couple of years ago called hashtag Oscars So White. So if they're still giving out swag bags at the Oscars, I think that we have, according to that young gentleman, we have something that we could say that, yes, the Oscars are racist. Let's see. Trisha says, I know a little about Antifa from political activism in my city. Dark says, yeah, Nintendo found out he tried to sell a bootleg black market Nintendo hack console, and he got C&D. Oh, cease and desist. You're talking about Soldier Boy. Okay, and then Ray says, the spa can be summed up as a Yaniv-style event in an LA spa involving underage victims. There you go. That's a perfect sum up of what happened with Wii Spa. So, let's go ahead and listen to this bright, I'm assuming bright young lady who is going to tell us how racist and transphobic we all are for not wanting young girls the age of 9 and under seeing male genitalia.
History. You need to unlearn that shit. Unlearn it. That's white supremacists taught to you.
Do you realize that you're like speaking in religious language? You're saying the same thing that a religious fundamentalist would say. You're basically saying you need Jesus. You need to get with the Lord. You need to believe what I believe. You're being a bigot.
You're so stupid. You're calling me a bigot because I believe in
I'm calling your behavior bigoted. Yes, you're demanding that I believe what you believe just because you think you're right and I'm wrong.
I've been out at every single protest and I haven't seen your ass. So if they fuck you up, let them.
Oh, how peaceful of her! Been looking into the Wii Spa. Zealgold says, been looking into the Wii Spa, and it's just more evidence of Antifa defending creeps and predators, which does tend to happen. It's kind of sad. And Trisha says, I think that sometimes militant actions are warranted, but not over here in North America. We are not there yet. I can agree that true oppression, like that what's going on in Cuba, where the protests are causing people to be shot by their government. I agree that that type of militant protest is needed. In this country, in America, you are not oppressed. They do not silence your speech. They do not take it away. Well, they don't silence your speech unless you, unless you're from a certain bent. Then they label you stuff and then they take it away from you. But here in America, they do not shoot you for speaking out. Do you want to know where I do believe militant protests should be happening? China. All of these Antifa idiots need to take a trip over to Beijing, get themselves into China, and I'm talking China proper, going into the big cities, not because Beijing, there's a whole thing where Beijing is kind of its own little inner state inside China's greater area. So you go outside Beijing. Go into China. Why? China has its own internet. It doesn't share normally with us. They have their own Twitter app. I can't remember what it was called. It was called not MyFace. It was called Face Speak or something like that. The government told the owners of their Twitter, Chinese Twitter, not the actual Twitter app, but whatever their equivalent of, told their Twitter equivalent, get rid of every single LGBTQ plus account. Just gone like that. Because the Chinese government said they didn't want it anymore. They didn't want them promoting that type of lifestyle. Do you know what would happen in the US if that shit happened? I mean, according to leftists, according to Antifa, according to idiots and extremists on the left, Trump was supposedly the most racist president ever. Even going so far as back as to the very first few presidents who actually dealt with slavery and things like that. Trump was a worse racist than all of them. He was also a transphobe, a homophobe, all that stuff. What do you think would happen if Trump actually went, you know what, Twitter, I can't do a Trump accent, I'm not going to. I wish Brockus was here, he could do a Trump accent, but he wouldn't know what I was going to say. You know what, Twitter? Ban every LGBTQ plus account. If they have pronouns in their bios that are not he, she, or him, her, ban them all. If they have a rainbow flag, ban them. If they have a pride flag, ban them. If they promote any of that, you gotta ban them. What the fuck would happen here? What would happen in America? There would be an actual legitimate revolt. Because he can't do that. He would have been impeached and kicked the fuck out of office. Not impeached and then acquitted. But, you know what? I went off on a little tangent. I don't want to do that. We got to get back to this very nice, very peaceful young lady who basically told the person who's holding the camera, who called her out for her behavior, that he wishes that, or that she wishes that, or they wish, I don't know what they identify as, so I don't want to misgender them. They wished that the person that's holding the camera gets their shit kicked in by the group of people behind him.
It's very peaceful of you.
I don't have to be peaceful. They're not peaceful. The white supremacists that came out here with planned fucking premeditated threats, we're not peaceful.
The cops behind you that aren't doing anything? And for those of you who can't tell, my pause game is on point. The cops behind you who aren't doing anything, they're not peaceful? They're actively beating people? They're actively shooting people? I'm not seeing it. Like, they're perfectly calm right in front of them. She's 10 feet away from a cop. And the white supremacist. Okay. These people. And when I say these people, I'm not talking about a race. I'm talking about an ideological driven group. These people claim anybody who does not agree with them on anything, on everything, are white supremacists and racists. They have purity tests that you will never pass because, well, you can't be as pure as what they believe they are. But I don't believe that there were white supremacists that came out there pre-planned with, because there are so many in North America. Like, I think the last actual census total that was taken of KKK members is somewhere in the realm of 3,000. And that's nationwide. So I don't even know what the percentage is of 3,000 compared to 360 million. I think that's like 0.00001%. The chances of you running into an actual KKK member is less than getting struck by lightning twice.
I don't have to be peaceful. I don't owe anybody peace.
Yes, you do. Everybody owes people peace. That's how we have a peaceful society. It is in the doctrine that we call the Constitution. It is in the laws that are in your city. You have to be peaceful. Again, pause game on point, people. If this crazy bitch swung at the guy with the camera and connected, she gets arrested for assault and battery, actually, with intent to harm. That is a Class 2 felony. That's why you owe people peace. On top of that, if she swings on him, he can swing right the fuck back. It's called retaliation, sweetheart. Get over it. Trisha says, white supremacist groups try to have white power marches in my city. Those ones have gone to violence at times. And rightfully should. Dark has done the math for me. 3,000 out of 360 million is 0.000000000000001%. So, not even. You have more of a chance of getting struck by lightning twice in the middle of a mall on any given Wednesday than you do of walking into a white supremacist. Or someone from a Klan rally.
They owe us peace.
They're giving you peace, bitch!
I can be mad.
When you tried to mace me over there and you missed, when you maced me over there in the corner, I've got it on camera. You remember when you tried to mace me over there? I have it on camera.
Nobody maced you, dude.
You can make up whatever you want. I have it on camera. You tried to mace me on camera.
All right, guys. I'm gonna. You know what? Can I do it again? All right. I'm gonna get to the articles here in a second. I'm gonna put up another poll. And I'm just gonna make it quick. And it's real quick. Do you believe that they tried to mace him? Yes or no? The poll is not showing up. Why is the poll not showing up? Show up, goddammit. There it is. Okay. So, real quick, up at the top of the chat, all you have to do is vote yes or no. Do you believe that they tried to mace him? Yes or no? I'm going to have fun with this poll stuff, because you can make different options. Alright, let's get back to this, and then I will check the food channel, Ishtar, I promise.
How stupid is that?
Nobody maced you, you fucking kid. Nobody maced you. Nobody maced you.
It's on camera.
Okay, yeah, but it's not maced. Nobody maced you. I don't give a fuck if it's on camera. It's not maced, bitch. I can smell you coughing and dying, huh?
Oh! Oh boy. Okay, so they kind of just admitted to it. Now the answer, according to them, is no, it wasn't mace. It wasn't mace. It was something else. So they did attack him with something, but it wasn't mace. So that's okay. I don't know why that's okay, but it's okay.
I've smelled mace. I've been maced. I've been maced by cops and white supremacists.
If I fucking mace you, you would feel it.
It'd be burning into your skin. I've had it drained out of my eyeballs because of white supremacists.
There's the can that you sprayed me with right there. That's the can that you tried to spray me in the eyes with, and you tried to spray my... Well, you used it as a weapon and tried to assault me with it.
Black hairspray.
Yeah, you...
Okay, so Malik says, I didn't see that she tried to, so I'll roll with no. I would have to take a closer look at the video again. Okay, Malik, there we go, right there. They admit that they tried to spray him with black hairspray. If you, I don't care what you say, you get black hairspray in your eyes, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be painful. How's it going, Vin? You just got here, that's fine. You missed the vegan who says that you're going, you're gonna go to jail in the next 30 years for eating meat. You missed the teacher that is trying to tell other teachers to still teach critical race theory, and swag is racist.
You tried to film my camera. You tried to block my camera with it, and you failed.
I told you already to get the fuck out of here.
You get out of here. You totalitarian fascist.
Get the fuck out of here.
Can you back up from me?
No.
I have a right to space.
Then go somewhere else. Keep your space somewhere else.
Yeah, go take space somewhere else.
You can record me all you want. I really don't care.
Why is this allowed? Like this, you guys are peace officers. It is your job to keep the peace.
Get the fuck out.
Oh, he's a fascist because he asked the cop. All right, so a bunch of you basically said that. Not a bunch. Well, a bunch of you said yes. So we're gonna end that poll. But yeah, I agree with Dark. Spraying hairspray in their face, that's not any better. Alright, so we got 6 seconds here.
You're a fascist. Who in this situation is restricting the rights of other people?
He's got a point. Alright. There are times I want to go to a protest, and then there are times that I know I can't go to a protest because I'd get my ass handed to me by a bunch of people. Not for what I'm saying, but because I would be unabashed in telling them off. And I would be the guy that, like, 8 people tried to jump. Alright, Ishtar wants me to go to the food channel. And I see Trisha has joined the Discord. Welcome to the Discord, Trisha. Oh, that's why she wants me to go to the food channel. Alright, y'all. I'm going to pimp this out again because we have evidence. So, there's a link to my Patreon down below. If you decide that you would like to peruse said Patreon, and I know you're seeing this cake right here on screen. I did not make this cake. Ishtar made this cake. There is a special reward tier on my Patreon. It's $35 a month, and it's called Baked with Ishtar. And what Ishtar will do is she will bake something like this, and you get to get it sent to you. You get to get sent all of these delicious baked goods, cookies, fresh baked bread, cupcakes, cake. This is a strawberry cake with real strawberries on it and cream cheese, homemade cream. All of this is not store-bought. There is no box cake bullshit in this. She baked it herself. It is cream cheese icing, fresh, or not fresh strawberries, but strawberries, all that. It's really good. She's really wonderful. And if you join that Patreon tier, you get to help decide what you get. Now, I have talked about before that she makes apple pie cinnamon rolls. Y'all, before we were even married, I was threatening to divorce her if she gave them to people. But, that's how things go. So, I'm going to pimp that out again. Ishtar just says she avoids box cakes because she's a snob. Don't let her fool you. She loves baking. It's one of the favorite things that she gets to do. And it is also one of the reasons I have trouble trimming down. My wife is an amazing woman. And I offhandedly mentioned that I love coconut macaroons. I don't remember what we were talking about or when we were talking about it, but I made mention of it, and the next thing I know, she went out to surprise me to bake homemade coconut macaroons. They are delicious, and I cannot wait to have some of that cake with Brockus, because it is Brockus' birthday. I don't know if he's home yet or not, but he doesn't need to have a piece of his birthday cake, right? You guys saw that. He doesn't need a piece of that. We're saving him from himself. So, let's get into the fun stuff. I know I brought in the entitled Twitter idiots, so let's go ahead and start talking about the fun stuff that you guys want to talk about. You guys know the Olympics is going on, right? Right? I mean, I don't have cable, so I have no way of really paying attention to the Olympics. I just get little Twitter updates. Like, I know that I think for the closing stuff, or there was a parade or something where the athletes were coming out to video game music because it's taking place in Tokyo. So that's fucking awesome. But here, I don't know if you guys know this, but when a Olympics happens in a city, they have the Olympic. It's sectioned off, but it's the Olympic town, basically. It's where all the Olympians live while they're there for the Olympics. And it's usually a bunch of small apartments. There's a bunch of room and board. And y'all, from every single Olympian that has ever been asked about this, the Olympic City is nothing but a 24/7 frat party. Especially after their event is done. Like, if you're in gymnastics and the gymnastics portion of it is over, they party. They let loose because they're all wound really tight. Not only do they party, but they fuck like rabbits. I use the joke that anime conventions are one of the only place that the pickup line, nice shoes wanna fuck, will work. In this Olympic city, this little area, all you have to do is say nice shoes, and they'll take you to their room. Okay? I don't have the thread, but I wish I grabbed it. There is a person who has been taking clips of the Olympic cameramen being horny on Maine, and it's clip after clip after clip after clip of cameramen zooming in on the girl athletes' butts. It's not a bad thread if you are a connoisseur of the woman's backside. But Tokyo knows about the trend during the Olympics with the Olympic athletes. So they designed something for them. Oh, they designed anti-sex beds. Cardboard anti-sex beds. I give to you cardboard anti-sex beds from Tokyo, the originator of hentai and the repressed peoples of Japan. Athletes to sleep on anti-sex cardboard beds at Olympic Games, runner claims. Editor's note, in an earlier version of this article, the Post reported that the Olympic beds were specifically made to be sex-resistant to hinder the spread of COVID-19, an assertion that was later determined to be inaccurate. This story has since been updated to reflect the changes. Ray says, is it a camel toe if it's, shall we say, the rear view? No, that's just really tight shorts. Thank you, Trisha. You were going to say something before I even got to it, like you need a bed to have sex. I did it once in a phone booth. The world's best sports competitors are set to spend their nights on cardboard beds, which, according to one athlete, were allegedly designed to collapse under the weight of fornicators to discourage sex. Olympic officials have set up 18,000 of the cardboard beds in the notoriously sex-crazed athletes' village, according to Degeneracy magazine. Beds to be installed in Tokyo Olympic Village will be made of cardboard. This is aimed to avoid intimacy among athletes. Man, they don't want any of that cultural mingling at all. You know, you can't do any of that stuff. American distance runner Paul Chelimio tweeted, beds will be able to withstand the weight of a single person to avoid situations beyond sports. I see no problem for distance runners. Even 4 of us can do it. Yes, Ishtar, they are not very imaginative if they require beds. But another... you know what? Go away. But another Olympian, Irish gymnast Rhys McClenaghan, said in a video posted to his Twitter account that although the beds are made out of cardboard, they're perfectly sturdy. In the video, McClenaghan jumps up and down on his bed to illustrate how the furniture doesn't crumble under his weight. The 100% recyclable cardboard beds were designed by the Japanese company Airweave. But officials are apparently aware it's going to take a lot to keep players out of the pole position. Ha! New York Times. Again, keep the jokes to the professionals. They are distributing a cachet of condoms to the athletes, as they have at every Olympic Games since 1988. Because they know. This year, the condom tally is 160,000. 160,000 condoms. That is a far cry from the 450,000 doled out for the last Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 2016. Oh, and by the way, in Brazil, reports say that they ran out of the 450,000 condoms. This year, Olympic officials insist the condoms are so athletes bring them home to spread the message of safe sex. Yeah, sure they are. Sure they are. Our intent and goal is not for athletes to use the condoms at the Olympic Village. Oh, so you want to breed more little Olympians. Cool, I got you, Japan. I know what you're thinking. But to help with awareness by taking them back to their own countries. The Tokyo Olympic Organization Committee said in a statement to Japan today. See, Japan is smart. They're repressed. That's why there's only 160,000 condoms, not 450,000, because they want, not only do they want intermingling between these high caliber competitors, but they want to breed the next Olympians. So keep that in mind. Japan may be doing something that we're not really paying attention to just yet. We're going to see a bunch of intermixed Olympians coming up. I would say, 9 months from now, so maybe about 16 years. Give or take. All right. Whew. All right, you guys want to hear a good one? Because this headline This should have gone under the entitled Twitter thing. It's where I found it. It's from The Guardian. When was this posted? This was posted on July 14th. So this is recent. Oh boy. Let's see. I don't even know how to get it. There's no segue for this. So let's go for it. I left my husband because the sex was boring. Now I'm having the same problem with my new partner. Whew. This is from Pamela Stevenson Connolly. Pamela, I think the problem may be with you. I'm just assuming. So, let's see. The tagline says, when I met a new guy, it was great for a while. But I have a huge sex drive and feel I'm making all the effort. What can I do? I left my husband because the sex was boring and non-existent. I've since met another guy, and while our sex life was great for a while, when we moved in together, it all but disappeared. I have to make all the moves. I found out by accident that he watches porn when I'm not home. I wouldn't mind were it not for the fact that our sex life is dull. He never touches me or performs oral sex. It's all me, me, me. What do I do? My sex drive is huge and I'm desperately unhappy. Trisha, this is your first time to one of my Last Vox streams, so I don't expect you to know this answer. But the rest of y'all have been to these streams when I have given advice about sex. What is the one thing that I always say you need to do with your partner to make sure that sex is good for both of you? No, you don't need to be worried, Ishtar. There is one thing that I continually say that is the most important thing in any relationship, especially when it comes to the bedroom. See, she's saying that he watches porn when she's not home. Okay, guys do that. Their sex life is dull. He never touches her. Okay, there's a problem. It's only her who performs oral sex. That's a problem. It's all just about what she does. That's a problem. Thank you, Malik. Malik got it right. There's one thing that she could do to make sure all of these problems go away in an instant. Communication. Open communication between the two of them to basically say, look, I've given you 20 blowjobs in the last 15 days. It's time for you to lick the kitty. You don't have to put it that way, but if you come to him and say, listen, I've been doing this a lot, I'm not being fulfilled by you, we need to solve that. You don't touch me enough. Well, there could be a reason. Maybe he thinks you're too tired after a long day at work. I don't know. But let's continue. I don't want to jump too far ahead. But that's already going to be my advice for Pamela here. Partners have to teach each other how they like to be pleasured. Yes, they do. Everyone is different, so you must be very specific in explaining, even showing your needs to your new partner. Hey, Pam, you solved your problem in the first sentence of this article. I shouldn't even have to read the rest of it. There's not much, but I shouldn't have to, for the fact that, well, she answered her own question. If you always let him get away with being selfish, why would he bother trying harder to please you? He cannot read your mind any more than your ex-husband could, so take responsibility for letting him know exactly what you want. Clandestine porn watching is extremely common for men and women. Oh, so this is an advice column. I take that back. Pam is getting her her question answered. So I didn't realize this was an advice column. Clandestine porn watching is extremely common for men and women and does not normally negatively affect a partner's sex life unless it becomes excessive or overly obsessional. But discussing it could lead to an understanding of each other's needs and fantasies, which in turn could enhance the erotic connection. Pamela Stevenson Connolly is a U.S.-based psychotherapist who specializes in treating sexual disorders. Listen. Pamela up there is right. Solving all of your problems, that simply. You just have to communicate. That's all. Trisha says, I have a suggestion for her, though. Cuck him and let him watch her with other people. Maybe he would be into it. Well, that's a thing. It may be his kink. Find out what kind of porn he's watching. That may be a thing for him. But also realize that if he watches porn like that, it may not be something he's into. He may like the idea of it, but not actually the application of it. It's the idea of the woman being that slutty or something like that that may be the reason he gets off to it. But it could be other things. He may like to roleplay. Who knows? But you won't know until you talk to him. I thought I was going to rage at this woman. I was wrong. Pamela Stevenson Connolly, you are a genius when it comes to sex because you're telling someone the simplest thing that they can do. Now, that was a really quick one. It is, I don't know if you guys know this, it is July 25th, 2021. Oh, hold on. Yes. What's that? I'm not going to eat it right now.
But you'll be hungry.
I will be afterwards. Ishtar was bringing me food. I'm not going to eat on stream, especially with a camera. I took off my headphones because I'm not listening to anything. So, it is July 25th, 2021. And I believe something is starting next weekend. For those of you who don't know, Discovery Channel does something the beginning of every August, and when I did have cable, I never missed it. And with Discovery Plus, I've been able to catch up on the last couple seasons of it. I am a connoisseur of bad shark movies. But that is only because I am fascinated by the different species of sharks and everything that has to go on with the sharks in the ocean. So for those of you who do not know, or you don't have Discovery Plus, Shark Week starts next week. And I will be so fucking excited about it that I get to see it again. I've been watching the last couple seasons of it on Discovery Plus. And I bring this up because the New York Post brings us something from shark advocates, which I knew there were shark scientists. I knew there were Save the Whale advocates. I did not know there were shark advocates. But, oh boy. Shark advocates call for a rebranding of violent attacks as interactions. Yes, I have seen zombie sharks. Violent attacks are now being called, or they want them to call them interactions because I understand why. I can tell you before I even read the article why they want to do that. They want to lessen the impact of a shark attack, the violence of it, the fact that there was a death or an injury. Believe it or not, guys, shark attack deaths are extremely rare. Shark attacks themselves are even more rare. But they want to call it an interaction. So basically what they're saying, what they're fucking saying is the movie Jaws, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I have seen it at least 1,000 times. I know the ins and outs of it. I know the things that Steven Spielberg went through. I know what Richard Dreyfuss went through. I know about the shooting star that Steven Spielberg caught at just the right moment. And that was the one reason that he continued to put shooting stars in every single one of his movies. Listen, Jaws is not about a killer shark. Not anymore. It's about a very interactive shark. He just wanted to meet people and have interactions. Do you see how stupid that is? An interaction with a shark is something that happened to me. Now, I've told this shark story before. It's not very creepy. Well, it was creepy to me at the time. It may not be creepy now the way I'm going to tell it. But when I was younger, about 16 or so, my dad bought me and my brother boogie boards because he didn't want to buy us surfboards. I was born in Southern California. We were 45 minutes from any beach at any time. We could have become surfers if we wanted to. So he bought us boogie boards instead. We go out to Santa Monica Beach, right? Very popular spot. The boardwalk was not open yet because daylight had barely broken. And my brother and I, because we're dumb, are in the ice cold water. And that was it. That for a while it was just me and him. And then the surfers arrived, and we saw them catch waves. We kind of went over by them. We hung out with them. We talked to him. One of the surfers was named Spider, or at least that's what he wanted us to call him. He had a big spider tattoo right here. And while I'm talking to Spider and his pals, my brother actually catches a wave into shore. I did not know this. So as I'm hanging onto my boogie board in 6+ feet of water, I feel something bump my foot. Thought it was my brother. So I kicked his foot. Then I felt something bump my foot again. So I turn to tell my brother to piss off, and I see a dorsal fin swimming right past me. And a tail going like this. Now, for those of you who don't know, porpoises and whales, their tails go up and down. Sharks go left to right. I don't know what type of shark it was, but I kicked it in its face. At least I'm assuming. I kicked a shark somewhere on its body. Let me tell you something. There were 2 people who walked on water that day. There was Jesus and me, because I don't remember how I got into shore. I just know I saw the shark, and then I was on the beach. I didn't go in for the next couple of hours. Even with that was that's an interaction with a shark. A shark attack is not an interaction. A shark attack is something violent. Now, regardless, it's not the shark's fault if they hurt you. They don't have hands. So, with curious species of sharks like makos, great whites, hammerheads, and tiger sharks, when they need to investigate something, their feelers are on their tongue. So, if you get bitten by a tiger shark, there's a good chance you're going to survive. And they're going to figure out, you're not that tasty. Same thing happens with a great white. You may not be that tasty, but when they spit you out, you're missing half your body. So, they're not interactions, okay? Going to SeaWorld and petting the nurse sharks, that's an interaction. So, I'm going a little long with this, but I wanted to give you guys a background to why this bothers me as much as it does. D&D session went long. Nice. Well, you're here, Haster. That's all that matters. Trisha says, today I watched a vid about people getting attacked by sharks from parasailing. Yes, that is actually something that happened. That was from... there was a thing about it on Shark Week from last year that I actually watched. Malik says, cues Jaws theme while Matt tells this story. And Ben asks, was that shark from a certain shark club like in Finding Nemo? I don't know. I don't know what type of shark it is, but knowing where I was, Santa Monica is a hot spot for certain sightings of certain very large animals. Now, I'm not saying it was a great white, because it would have been a juvenile. It was about 8 feet, 9 feet long. they are known to get that close into shore, but there are also other sharks that swim the waters around Santa Monica. I don't know. I do not remember what type of shark it was. So, this article says, who's attacking whom here? Marine experts and advocates in Australia are urging the public to refrain from using the word attack in reference to sharks, declaring that the majestic predatory fish have been unfairly stigmatized as a deliberate killer. Instead, officials have suggested the violent run-ins with sharks be dubbed with more neutral words such as interactions. This is not going to be good. How's it going, damn alien? Others have suggested swapping the word with terms negative encounter, incident. Negative encounter is kind of that's gilding the lily just a little bit, I think. Again, my encounter with the shark. That was a negative encounter on the shark's part because I kicked it. It was a negative, thinking back to it now, that was a cool encounter with me, but that was a negative encounter. Getting your leg bitten off, not necessarily a negative encounter or an incident, it's, life-altering. Or simply bites. The Sydney Morning Herald recently reported, "Shark attack is a lie," said University of Sydney language researcher Christopher Pepin Neff, who argued that a majority of what people call attacks are merely nips and minor injuries from smaller sharks. See, called it. Like I said, they're just curious. Or mistaken identity. Surfers get it a lot, especially with great whites. They look like a fat seal from below. And sharks love seals, so they swim up and take a hefty bite. He also told the Aussie outlet that such phenomena were once called shark accidents prior to the 1930s, when prominent Sydney surgeon Victor Coppelson began calling them attacks. Okay, I could call it shark accidents. They accidentally thought you were food. Yeah, that's cool. I'm okay with that. I just don't think it should be encounters or anything or incidents. Let's see. The change marked a shift in mood as shark nets were also being implemented on Australian beaches at the time. What time was it? 1930s. Okay. The 1930s, if I remember correctly, is when the Jersey Maneater was around. People didn't really go in the ocean a lot in the early 1900s and late 1800s. It was not considered a recreational sport or something to do with the family. The water was not something that people liked to go into. Around the 1930s, I think it was around 1928 or so, beaches like Santa Monica and Jersey Beach and things like that became very popular. And families would go out and they would get into the water en masse. So around 1930, humans were having a lot of encounters with the denizens of the deep because they hadn't had encounters with them before. And they didn't expect things like sharks. You know, they knew that there were monsters in the ocean at that time still. They knew that people would go on boats and there were not shark attacks, but there were attacks and disappearances. There were stories about the finned beasts from pirates and things like that, but that was all in deep water. There was not any real scientific knowledge that sharks come into shallow water to hunt. So around the 1930s, yeah, a lot of people got bit. And it wasn't just because of great whites. The Jersey Man Killer is a very, very popular story that happened back in the 1930s. I think from 1931 to 1932, there were multiple attacks up and down Jersey Shore and inland near Jersey in a river outlet. And that was actually the inspiration for Peter Benchley, who, if you guys don't know, is the creator of the book Jaws, which I have not read, but I want to. I keep forgetting to pick it up. It's one of those things that you always want to pick up fantasy novels and shit like that, and you don't want to pick up stuff, you know. I would love to read Jaws on Cringe Book Club. That would be amazing. But The Jersey Man Killer was the inspiration for Peter Benchley to write Jaws. And believe it or not, I'm getting into this stuff, and then I'm going to get to a fun article. I promise, guys, I'm getting history. Believe it or not, Peter Benchley, when he wrote Jaws, did not realize that it was being optioned for a movie. And when it did get optioned for a movie, he was not okay with it. He wasn't really okay with it at all. He didn't think that it was going to be a good enough book to make a movie. But he gave rights to it. And Steven Spielberg, after his what was the name of the... I don't remember what the name of the truck movie was, but he basically did he directed Jaws. It was the very first ever summer blockbuster back in the 1970s. And back in the 1970s, because of a movie like Jaws, there were hundreds of brand new shark fishing expeditions and things that were pulling sharks out of the water. And Peter Benchley had no idea that this was happening. And when he found out, he was heartbroken because he did not want to demonize an entire species in Duel. Thank you very much, Zeo Gold. He did not want to demonize sharks. Like, he thought he just wrote a really good book. And I don't think it made like #1 bestseller or anything like that, but it was a very popular book. So he didn't, and it was, I think, the second or third year of Shark Week. They contacted Peter Benchley while he was still alive, and they brought him out to go on some of these shark learning expeditions. And he actually was able to get in the water with a great white shark. Not openly, he was in a cage. But after that incident where he went out with people to study these animals, he became a shark conservationist. He started fighting for the protection of these animals, which I think is a great arc of a story for someone. He accidentally demonized them, and now he's trying to protect them, which was great. So, I could talk... Ishtar has already dealt with me talking about sharks all the fucking time. Especially recently while we're watching Shark Week. So, basically what they want to do with this article is they don't want to make them shark attacks because it's got a violent connotation to it. They want to call it something else. Shark accidents I'd be cool with, because it's an accident that they bit you. The only ones that are kind of deliberate are bull sharks. But I don't want to get into that because I could be talking about them for another fucking hour. So, as you can tell, I'm really passionate about the animals. I love them. I love them to death. One of the things I actually want to do, like a bucket list item, is I want to go into a cage and see some of these things up close. Let's see. Dark says Matt's next tattoo should be a shark tooth. It's not going to be a shark tooth. Ben C says, well, think of it, Antoine. If the shark bit off a part of your leg, then you will have a perfect way to dress up as a pirate. See, Ben is thinking ahead. And then Malik agrees. Yeah, I think Matt, it would look good on Matt. What do you think? Like I said, my next tattoo is not going to be a shark tooth, although that would be pretty cool. Chest or arm, I don't know. Oh god, Sharknado. Sharknado broke me. Like, the first few are really good. I watched Sharknado 1, Sharknado 2, watched Sharknado 3 and 4. For those of you who don't know, there is a 5th and a 6th one. 4 was campy goodness. Okay, it was Hollywood campy goodness. Ian Ziering pulls up in the Christine car. Like, legit. From Christine, the movie. Pulls up in the car somewhere near Hollywood. And, oh, what's his name? From Eight-Legged Freaks. Anyway, he pulls up. He was in Scream as well. I can't think of his name right now. But he runs up to the car, and Ian Ziering knows, the character playing Finn knows that guy. And he's like, well, I'm not dealing with sharks. I'm just dealing with giant spiders. It was great. It was Hollywood camp at its best. The fifth one broke me. Because the fifth one is the fifth one deals with an ancient Egyptian shark god. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as an ancient Egyptian shark god. At all. I understand they made it up, but they just kind of pulled this theory out of their fucking ass at the end of the goddamn movie. And then, there's more. Finn is there at the end of the movie, and a Hummer just pops into existence. It's a time machine. And it has a callback to everything from Back to the Future. It has a Mr. Fusion in it. And his son, the character of Finn, his son, is played by Dolph Lundgren, who comes back in time to save his dad and stop the very first Sharknado. And I'm not talking about the one from Sharknado 1. I'm talking about one in ancient Mesopotamia. So Sharknado 6 is snippets of Finn going back in time to stop Sharknadoes. Even stopping one in the middle of the fucking Civil War. Yes, Hester, I know. Talking about sharks. Okay. This is from the New Yorker. We're going to talk about something. Are you fucking, this is fucking crazy. Not Sharknado crazy, which is entertaining. This is just fucking dumb crazy. Here we go. 7 signs that your man's masculinity is not toxic. I'd like to say that no man's masculinity is toxic unless they become an asshole. And I've already talked about assholes today. I talked about them at the beginning of the stream. I'm not going to talk about them again. But we're going to talk about non-toxic masculinity. Let's see if any of you guys in the chat live up to some of these non-toxic behaviors. Let's keep a tally. Who wants to keep a tally of how many of these non-toxic behaviors, me personally, I call out that I don't do? Yes, less weird than some of the articles on here. Okay, number 1. He carries a tote bag that's at once pro-environment, pro-feminism, and pro-reading. I don't do tote bags. I have a backpack that has like 8 different pockets in it, and it's huge, and I use that to travel. I don't carry a fucking tote bag. Let's call it what it is. The way he's carrying it, it's a merce. I grew up in the 80s. I grew up with the fanny pack. Okay? My mom had a fanny pack that she brought with her everywhere. It had everything in it. It was a purse on her hip. I don't carry a tote bag. I don't carry a fanny pack. I don't carry a merce. I don't carry a satchel. I have a fucking backpack. So this is a no. Apparently we're starting off with me being toxic. So on a point from 1 to 7, 7 being extremely toxic and 0 being non-toxic at all, I'm already at a level 1. Number 2. He goes into a sports bar to use the bathroom. He buys a glass of white wine to be polite. First, there are better places everywhere to go to the bathroom that's not a sports bar. Sports bars' bathrooms are fucking disgusting. Okay? Because most of the people that go into sports bars are guys. And I'm sorry, guys. I have to say it. Our bathrooms are nasty. Now, women, you don't get to get away with this. You don't get to get away from it. Your bathrooms are just as fucking nasty. They just put extra stuff in it. So, no, I don't go into a sports bar to use a bathroom. If I'm going to do that, and I know I have to use a public restroom, I'm going to go into a Target, a Walmart, or a grocery store or something like that. Hell, I'll even go into a fucking Starbucks, because at least they take care of it. And if I go into a Starbucks, unless I have to buy something to use the bathroom, I'm not going to buy something just to be polite. If it is a public restroom, fuck you, I'm going to use the public-ass restroom. So no, this is another no. This is another point against me of being toxic. So I'm at level 2 now. Alright, level 3. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh boy. Okay, 3. He openly cries during Pixar movies. Even the parts that aren't sad. Just beautiful. Alright, y'all. I'm going to admit something to you. And you guys can laugh at me if you want. I have never cried at a Pixar movie, though. But I have cried at movies. I have cried at movies. I've cried a total of 2 movies that I know of. That I remember crying at. The first one is E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And I'm not talking, well, I saw it when I was a kid. I'm talking about I was 20. Okay? Oh, and I can't count after I had kids, because it fucking does something to you emotionally, and I get all choked up at stupid shit. I got choked up over a fucking episode of fucking Criminal Minds. Didn't cry, though. So I cried at E.T. the Extraterrestrial when I was like 20. I watched it again. This is the part where Elliot is losing his goddamn mind trying to save E.T. and E.T. is dying. Man, I'm 20 years old and I'm bawling like a fucking baby. The second movie that I have openly cried at, that my dad even went, "What is wrong with you?" Terminator 2. Now, I know all of you just went, wait, what? Terminator 2? You cried at Terminator 2? Yes! I saw it when it came out in theaters. I think I was 13. So think about it this way from a kid's perspective. That Terminator became John Connor's best friend and surrogate dad. He has protected him through that entire movie, made sure he was okay, saved his mom, went through this whole ordeal. And the Terminator knows that he can't be with John Connor anymore. He can't be that role model. He can't be that person. Because he has the chip in his head and he is still a Terminator. And that doesn't change the future. So he lowers himself into the lava, into the molten steel, and then him holding up his thumb at the end. Man, I went out of that movie theater crying. And my dad and my mom both looked at me and went like, "What is wrong with you? That was an action movie." And I was so upset. I was like, "No, he had to kill himself to save him." And my parents understood, but I cried at fucking Terminator 2. Those are the only 2 movies I've ever cried at. Pixar, on the other hand, is trying to make people cry over stupid shit. Like Toy Story. Toy Story made me get all choked up. Toy Story 3, when they all link hands together and they're fucking gonna... They all link hands when they're going to be incinerated, and they have all understood that this is the last thing that they're all going to do together, and they have resigned themselves to die. I was like, oh man, that's fucking harsh. Fuck you, Pixar, that's deep. But yeah, just E.T. and Terminator 2. And as Ishtar just admitted, she cries at all of them. And one of the ones that I like to point out that she cried at the Meg. The Jason Statham action movie. She cried during the Meg because the grandfather sacrifices himself to save the team, and the mom has to go tell the granddaughter that her grandfather's dead. We're in the theaters watching this movie, and Ishtar is just bawling her fucking eyes out. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, so I'm at level 3 now out of 7. 3 out of 7. Okay, 4. He opens doors for women at work, but they're metaphorical doors, like the ones that lead to promotions. I don't have a high enough powered job to do that, So I'm going to have to say no. So that was 4. That's 4 points against me. But, like, this is pandering. Like, ladies, Trisha, you're still here. Ishtar, you're here. Ladies, if a guy goes out of his way to make sure that you get all the promotions, do you feel accomplished? Or do you feel like it was given to you? So I have to know. It's not really a quiz, Dark. This is just kind of something that I'm doing. But yeah, I'm 4 for 4 here. This is not good. I do hold open doors, but it's not just for ladies. I hold open doors for everyone because I'm a nice fucking guy. Number 5. Oh boy. Number 5. He laughs calmly when called a cuck. He laughs loudly when women are funny. And he does not laugh when men are not. Ladies, and Trisha, this goes back to what you were saying about the advice about the porn thing. If he laughs calmly when he's called a cuck, it's because he didn't know that people knew that about him. How's it going, Esfera? I didn't see you. Nice to have you join us. And I do laugh loudly when women are funny, because I find them funny. Elijah Schlesinger is one of my favorite female comedians. And she is funny as shit. If you guys haven't heard me talk about her before, watch Elijah Schlesinger War Paint. It is the funniest fucking thing you will ever see. You will not stop laughing. You are going to hurt after you're done watching that. Kathleen Madigan, another amazingly funny female comedian. If a woman is funny, I'm going to laugh. He does not laugh when men are not. So this is kind of implying that you have to laugh when women make bad jokes too. See, I'm with Haster on this one. If you're funny, whether you're male or female, I laugh. It doesn't matter. Okay? So I guess this one is a yes. But there are caveats. So I'm still only at 4. So I'm good. I'm not extremely toxic, but I'm still 4 out of 7. Number 6. Oh boy. He makes references to Kurt Vonnegut because he's genuinely interested to hear other people's opinions of Vonnegut's work. He never makes references to David Foster Wallace. Kurt Vonnegut, I don't know what he's done, but the name sounds familiar. I don't know who the fuck David Foster Wallace is. Haster's giving me a 4.5. Alright, I'll take the 4.5. Okay. This one I have to say no, because I've never referenced Kurt Vonnegut, and I don't know who David Foster Wallace is. So I guess this is another part 5 because 0.5 because I never make references to David Foster Wallace. So that means I'm at a 5 now. 2.5s. So I was at a 4.5. Now I'm at a 5. All right, the last one. He strictly follows traffic laws when he plays Grand Theft Auto. His Sims world is a matriarchy. He does not have a Twitter account. That motherfucker is a psychopath. If you have a person who obeys the traffic laws in Grand Theft Auto, he's a fucking psychopath. If he doesn't kill his Sims out of a sick need to control everything, Ishtar, I'm looking at you, he's a fucking psychopath. And I have a Twitter account, so this automatically makes me a no. So I'm a 6. I'm a 6 out of 7. I'm a 6 out of 7 toxic male. Apparently, according to the New Yorker. You know what? The last Grand Theft Auto game I played was Grand Theft Auto 5. While I'm playing this game, I tried just on a whim, I tried following the traffic laws in GTA. It's impossible. It is fucking impossible to follow the traffic laws in GTA. Just to let you know. So I'm a 6 out of 7. And that's it. This is how fuck. I am Ishtar. I'm sorry to say you married a toxic male. There's nothing I can say against it. You married a toxic male. I'm sorry. I'm a funny fucking toxic male. I'm a nice toxic male, but you married one. I'm not sorry. Like, I'm not gonna change anything. Oh God. Alright, is this one short? Okay, I'm gonna do this last one. This is gonna be the last article, and then I'm done. Because it's 10 o'clock. But you got... Guys, this is advice for you. Last time I talked about the broken penis that broke vertically, which don't do. And if you haven't heard the story, like Trisha, go back 2 weeks ago to the Last Vox After Hours and listen to the guy who broke his penis vertically. Oh boy. This one is more advice for you guys. It's a health thing, so pay attention, okay? Right-handed man almost masturbates to death. Medical case study. Y'all, I find the weirdest fucking articles for you guys. I really do. Yes, I understand you're waiting on me for cake. This is a quick article. I wanted to get this out there. This is medical advice. You wait. This fellow redefined mind-blowing sex after he suffered a life-threatening stroke. Bump, while repeatedly masturbating. Now, medical experts are saying he's lucky he escaped the ultimate unhappy ending. The unnamed 51-year-old right-handed man from Japan, because it's always fucking Japan, admittedly enjoyed pleasuring himself several times a day, according to the new case study published in the Medical Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases. However, one explosive self-love session went awry when, after climaxing, the serial stroker was struck down by thunderclap headaches and severe vomiting. Oh boy, the innuendo in that one. Unnerved by the unsexy symptoms, the man rushed himself to Nagoya City University Hospital, where he was found to have low blood pressure and confusion. I would too. Two telltale signs of a cerebrovascular accident, according to the medical case study. Emergency medical technicians suspected he had a stroke while stroking, and a subsequent CT scan confirmed that the man had indeed suffered a subarachnoid hemorrhage, SAH, and potentially fatal type of stroke, sparked by ruptured blood vessels in the space surrounding the brain. Prior case studies have reported that sex, including the autoerotic variety, was the immediate preceding activity before a ruptured aneurysm in up to 14% of patients. 14% of you guys out there need to pay attention. Do not masturbate as much as you think you're doing it, because as Dark said, God will say no more. And then you can't pump the pecker anymore. And then you die with an unhappy ending. And nobody wants that. According to a clinical neuropsychologist, Dr. Amy Baird, author of Sex in the Brain, How Your Brain Controls Your Sex Life. That actually sounds pretty fascinating. Columbia University Press, 2020. The risk of death by sex-induced stroke can be compounded by taking cocaine or Viagra before the act. And since he was 61 years old or 51 year old, however much he said, Viagra might have been an option. The man survived his near-fatal orgasm ordeal and was released from the hospital within 2 weeks in excellent condition, according to the doctors. However, he should thank his lucky stars he didn't achieve the opposite of a happy ending, as a ruptured brain aneurysm causes death in 40% of cases. This motherfucker is a badass. Not only did he pop off, but then he got up and walked into the hospital. Baird reported. Meanwhile, 2/3 of survivors are left with serious neurological deficits. This isn't the first time someone has suffered a vascular mishap during an act of self-gratification. In 2016, a Bronx hospital worker allegedly died of a heart attack while masturbating to porn at work, which is always a bad idea, according to police sources. Maybe you should, Trisha. Maybe you should. Yes, a near-fatal orgasm. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of tonight's show. Thank you for being here with me on the Last Vox, this last bastion of sanity for this corner of the internet. If you like what I'm doing here and you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, hit like, share this around, and just kind of have fun. If you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord like Trisha did today. And believe me, we are a bunch of wonderful people. I do not talk about drama a lot, so if you've been here since the beginning and you heard me talk about that, I apologize. It's something that I needed to talk about. It doesn't happen all the time. And I will see you guys next time for possibly Cringe Book Club on next Sunday and MSNBC on Tuesday. Now, I still haven't heard from Antoine, although I heard something that I wasn't really sure of, and I had to ask somebody for that. But if you want to know what's going on with the current world of Antoine and HFTG archives, or HTFG archives, I know what my channel is. Go ahead and watch that last video. It's called A Demon Named Frank. And with all that being said, guys, I love you. You can't stay here. You can do whatever you want. Go have fun. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good week. And I'll see you next time.